Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, available wherever podcasts can be found. Of course, taped live at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. We're going to be live right here on the Twitch this coming Sunday for the party of the Superb Owl. We're going to be doing a watch along with the big game. Larson, myself, the enforcer, and the intern, we're all going to be here on camera. We'll see who is knocking at the intern's door come Super Bowl Sunday. And if the intern's going to have pants on or not.
Yeah.
So anyways, we had a good time today on Friendo Club TV playing some Grand Theft Auto with Friendos. The intern was there choosing maps, choosing games to play, or choosing whatever to play, death matches and whatnot.
It was much fun, and also on Sunday for our Superb Owl party, we'll be doing the Death Nuts as well.
Yeah,
our celebration for hitting 1,000 subs, so that should be a good time.
We'll see how long that lasts.
You know the deal. We negotiated the terms. Are you going to back out of that one too?
What have I backed out of before?
Wasn't it just the other day when you said, hey, let's make a bet? And the first thing you said after I said, yes, I agree to your bet, and you realized it was a bad bet, you're like, yeah, I'll find a way to back out of that one.
No, I think Maggie has the record on that one. She said that you're a liar on that one.
Here's the thing, though. You already said you'll back out of the bet with me.
Hey,
like,
man,
I'll pay all the mods.
Don't you point at me. Do not point your finger at me.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Let me talk now. You're very publicly admitted that you'll back out of the bet with me and pay off our mods to do it. What's stopping you from backing out and paying them $1,500? Or we have like 15, 16 mods. You pay each of them $100. You can pay them $1,600, not to pay me $100.
Yes,
that makes zero sense.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
You're going to back out of that.
You know why? Because you point your finger at me all the time. Anyways, you know who else pointed his finger today? Roman Reigns. He pointed at Edge and said, "Hey, man, tell me, acknowledge me, love me. I want you to fight me at WrestleMania," or something like that. SmackDown happened tonight, Larson, so we're going to talk about that. I saw a lot of people in our Twitch chat sort of complaining, saying, I felt like kind of do nothing episode. Not a lot happened. I don't disagree with that. However, the funny thing is about SmackDown is that, what are you doing over there?
I'm over here pointing. The bet was Flats 3 has it. I don't believe Blood and Guts is happening within the next 5 years. That was the bet. Thank you, Flats.
I'll pay Flats. He'll call you a liar, too. Here's the deal.
You're not going to pay him either. Yeah,
I'll pay them all. You're not
going to pay anybody. That's the problem. You're not going to pay anybody.
Oh, can we start the show, please?
We are starting the show.
You're just yelling at me now.
Like a good way to start a show on a Friday night.
Yeah, probably. SmackDown. It's even when SmackDown is kind of a do-nothing episode, I still find it wild. Like, Baron Corbin versus Dominic Mysterio happened again tonight. And yet, it didn't bug me nearly as much as anything on Raw.
Because the match wasn't as clunky as the one they had 2 weeks ago.
No, just the general idea of it. Usually, if I encounter the same thing on Raw, it's because SmackDown generally is like better with everything they do.
Well, that's the thing with SmackDown. Usually, you have one segment that's kind of a dud or kind of meh. On Raw, that's like half the show.
Mm-hmm.
Another reason the Baron Dom match was probably better is because half the match was Baron putting Dom in an armbar.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the general point that even when SmackDown isn't like great and is just sort of there, it's still much more enjoyable than Raw. And I don't think it's even because it's like only 2 hours. Like, things just feel fresher on SmackDown.
Well, part of it is 2 hours. I mean, they don't have that extra hour to fill.
Some of it's that, yeah. Yeah. But we had a really, really fun Intercontinental Championship match tonight. That was a blast. It does look like, although nobody has made a decision on anything, Bianca Belair is probably going to challenge Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I don't know why they're kind of just not getting right to it.
I don't even understand why they're roping Carmella back into that situation. It wasn't even really clear.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I would suspect because we have 2 months till WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
they want to kind of build towards Sasha, Bianca, but they want Bianca to have kind of like an intermediary feud between now and then for the next 2 months. So I guess now that Reginald and Carmella have kind of entered the frame, the picture, that her and Bianca will kind of spin off into something else. I don't know what Sasha's going to do in the meantime. That remains to be seen.
I wonder. I mean, are they going to try to put up the Rumble win in a match? Have they done that before? I mean, obviously the Money in the Bank briefcase has been held up before. That's changed hands after the fact.
But here's the thing: if they are going to do that, it should be Bayley versus Bianca for that.
I agree completely. I still think. Well, I don't know. It's fun because I say that I still think it's going to be. I think that'd be the best match as a triple threat. That being said, I wonder if even they really know what they're going to do. I mean,
probably not.
Didn't Meltzer or somebody say that they're that the Bianca's choice hasn't actually been made behind the scenes yet?
And really, I mean, like they could justify it, but dozens of ways.
Sure.
But really, honestly, like what justification does Bayley even have for saying I deserve a shot here? She's lost to Sasha twice. She's lost to Bianca twice.
Yeah.
I mean, like if she goes to them, it's like, hey, I should be in this match. They should just say no.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
If Bayley asked Adam Pearce should be like, well, okay, you got to earn your way. If that even, but really, he should say no.
Yeah, but again, they can write it dozens of ways to get her in the match. So yeah, I don't know. I thought the episode, not a whole lot happened, but I still thought it was pretty entertaining.
That wasn't bad.
Started off with a Roman Reigns promo. He says, at Royal Rumble, in case you missed it, I beat Kevin Owens because I'm a man of my word. Edge, of course, won the Rumble. That means he has a ticket to the main event of WrestleMania. Paul, who's the main event of WrestleMania?
Roman.
That's right. Very good. He says, I have two issues with Edge, though. Why would he disrespect me by wasting his time on Raw and then again Wednesday night on NXT? Why did I come out here first? Why isn't he out here right now begging me, pleading with me to let him have a shot? Why would you waste my time? He does the thing, or he must be disrespecting me. If he disrespects me, he's just my family. Where is he? Get him out here, Paul. Paul starts shouting for Edge's pyro to start. Talks to a production guy. That doesn't work. No deal. He's not here. Roman gets back on the mic. He says, he must think I'm a fool. Paul, am I a fool? Am I a man who looks like he wants to play games? And then he does something that Roman rarely does, and he shouts, why would you play games with me?
Yeah.
The last man to play games with me, his name is Kevin Owens.
Before he said that, though, he took a moment. He literally took a moment and
gathered himself.
Posed himself, yes.
Kevin Owens is no longer here because I whooped his ass. He's history. He's done. Edge, I'm going to say this nicely. You need to understand this. You better give me your answer tonight, which all but guaranteed we were not going to get that answer tonight.
No, and it also guaranteed that Kevin Owens would probably show up later on.
Yeah, which
he said we'll never see him again.
Yeah.
After that, we had Dominic Mysterio versus Baron Corbin for the third week in a row, I think.
Yeah.
So Dom and Ray come out on the stage, like trying to get the crowd, like excited, but it's Thunderdome, so I don't know. They're like going to the opposite sides of the stage and doing stuff to get people hyped for the match. But they're separated now. Baron comes out, lays out Dom, and then lays out Ray and chucks him off the stage into a road case or something.
Yeah, that was great.
And so match goes to the ring. We come back from commercial. Dom has the upper hand briefly until Baron starts hitting some punches. Meanwhile, trainers are checking out Ray's knee. Dom low bridges Baron out of the ring, hits a springboard splash, and then Ray starts limping down to ringside. So towards the end, Baron charges Dom. Dom evades that. Baron does put Dom on the top rope. Dom then hits a Hurricane Rana, sending Baron to the floor. And then Dom follows with a suicide dive. And then while that's all happening, Ray is crawling under the ring. So Dom gets back in. And while Baron's trying to get back in the ring, Ray's holding his foot. And so he's kind of got a knee on the apron, trying to pull himself up. Dom hits him with a 619, follows that with a frog splash to get the win. But Dom seemed completely unaware that Ray had helped him out.
Yeah. So I wonder if he's going to see the tape next week.
It's like, Dad, why'd you do that?
And he's going to say, I need to prove that I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
We're going to get a fourth and possibly fifth match between
And then
Dom
Baron will win that one,
and
the
Baron.
next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, a Big E interview. It says all his life he's had to fight, and that's why he signed up That's what he signed up for when he won the Intercontinental Championship. He says, much like Lady Liberty, bring me you're tired, you're weary. He lists a bunch of attributes. It says, tonight we're going to fight, but they aren't ready.
He says, you're bearded, you're bald. That's Sami and Apollo.
Yes.
After that, we had Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro. This is a lot of fun. Daniel Bryan was trying to take Cesaro down with some wrestling moves while Cesaro was just trying to like punch the crap out of Daniel Bryan. This is good stuff. Eventually, Bryan sort of transitions to strikes as well. Gets a kick to the back of the head. Cesaro gets opened up on the head, sort of around his temple.
A ton.
That was coming out. Yeah, there was a lot coming out there. Got some Danielson stomps. Goes for a knee plus, but Cesaro beautifully it was so elegant. It was like ballet, like sort of lifts Bryan up into like a rack position and then gives him like a neck breaker, I think. Or backbreaker, rather.
He did like a press slam into a backbreaker.
Yeah. But like when he lifted Bryan up to it was like so smooth. That was crazy. Then he did a swing, and then Cesaro gets a sharpshooter in, and Bryan ends up tapping the sharpshooter. He really sunk it in low, man. It was rad. It was a great win for Cesaro. We mentioned on News Brief, it looks like he's probably signed a new deal with the WWE. And after the match, Cesaro walks over to Bryan, very, aggressively walks to Daniel Bryan as he's nursing his wounds. He stops, offers him a fist bump. Bryan hits it.
Yeah.
After that, we had a Bianca Belair interview. They showed her parents reacting to her win on Instagram. It was really cute because her dad sort of tumbles over the couch at one point. And she says, I just want to make my parents proud. Even if they're not walking with me at Mania, they're still with me. Question is posed, who are you going to fight? She said, this is the biggest decision of my life. People keep telling me what I should do, but I'm going to do it my way. I'll make my decision soon.
And then we get the Seth Rollins video package. We'd actually see the same package twice tonight. He's coming back next Friday.
Oh, they ran it twice? I just saw this one.
Yeah, they ran it later towards the end of the show.
Nice.
And then Ruby Riott versus Bayley. Billie Kay is on commentary, being hilarious as usual. Throughout the bout, she's like trying to keep herself from getting involved in the match to help the Riott Squad because she's in complete denial that she has been booted from the group. She still sees herself as part of the Riott Squad. So towards the finish, Bayley has like a double wrist lock on Ruby Riott. Billy gets out of the commentary desk and gets on the apron, is using her foot to try to push the bottom rope closer to Ruby so she can grab the rope and break the hold.
Something really Liv should be doing at that point.
That's true. But then Liv is like, what are you doing? We kicked you out. So Ruby does escape the hold, but in the process, Bayley hits her with a rose plant to get the win. While on commentary, I think it was Corey, made a point to Billy, hey, maybe you should align yourself with Bayley. And Billy goes, oh, okay, that's not a bad idea. And so after Bayley wins, she's walking up the ramp. Billy chases after her, hands her a headshot.
Yeah, that was funny.
We get a quick shot of Edge walking backstage. Fist bump for Sonya Deville. He's on his way.
After that, we had Bianca Belair promo. She gets in the ring, says, when I won the Rumble, my whole life changed overnight. Doing constant press, phone blowing up, people I don't even know. I get phone calls from people who, they've changed my number since then, so I have to do the new phone, who dis. She said, this is the biggest decision of my life. Asuka on Raw, she's not just the Empress of Tomorrow, she's the Empress of all day, every day. Then there's Sasha Banks, whooping up on bounty hunters across the galaxy. And then dirty sommelier Reginald interrupts. And he says,
he was really good tonight.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good too. He's so good at being slimy. He's like, if you say Asuka, I can see that. I can understand it. I am quite certain you could defeat Asuka. But if you say Sasha Banks, well, damn well you can't beat Sasha. You can't even beat Carmella. And Carmella comes out. She says, my sommelier is wise. But he gets excited. Let's not forget that I beat Sasha. I could do the same thing to you. Then Sasha comes out. It's boss time, Larson.
It is boss time. She says she's going to stop looking in her rear view, referencing Carmella, and start looking at the road ahead. She says Bianca has her attention. And this past Sunday, she lasted nearly an hour, stating her claim to main event WrestleMania. Sasha says she knows that Bianca is the strongest, the fastest, but is she the best? And she does that ha laugh. She doesn't think so. So if Bianca is going to choose her, then choose her because she has it all, but she doesn't have the title. Bianca's about to talk. Reginald steps in and says, Bianca, you got lucky winning the Rumble, but if you choose Sasha, you're going to lose. Bianca laughs, and then she starts beating up Reginald with her hair.
I'm actually really happy that they've waited this entire time on main roster for her to use the hair as a weapon, because it was a feature in NXT. She sort of dropped it in main roster. There's been moments, but like she beat the crap out of him with it. It was great. Sasha loved it. It was pretty rad. I just don't know like what this Carmella thing is. Like she had her opportunities. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's just Carmella stepping in, and then Bianca would be like, oh, well, it's kind of a clumsy way to transition to a Carmella Bianca feud, I think, for the next couple of months leading up to Mania.
Yeah, they might do a thing just to show, hey, the last person who challenged Sasha, Bianca, the next person, she can win against that person, so she's a legit contender.
Exactly.
After that, Roman Reigns is in his suite. Paul tells Roman Edge is finally here. We get a Sami Zayn interview. He says, ever since my Intercontinental Championship was robbed from me in that lumberjack match, you know, multiple conspiracies have worked against me, but tonight I get it back. And then we get Otis and Gable versus the Dirty Dawgs. Larson, we've got some new theme music for the Dirty Dawgs.
There's obviously the I'm here to show the world part still in the beginning, and I swore the opening was kind of like the opening to Glorious Domination, like Bob Roode's theme.
Yeah.
But everything else after just sounded like kind of a generic late 80s Los Angeles rock.
It totally was. And
which is in Dolph's wheelhouse. He loves that stuff. You know, like he's like half his gears like modeled after the Motley Crue logo.
You know you know how like with Bray and Alexa they use their same themes, but like in Bray's it's a completely re-recorded. With Alexa they sort of change it and slow it down a little bit and make it weird.
It adds a little ominous little bass blast.
That's how I felt about the intro. This is like, I'm here to show the world.
Yeah, it was weird.
So it was weird. But like, with the glorious like chord or whatever it is, it was
like the piano dun stuff.
That was strange.
Yeah, it was strange. I'm not sure how I think about it yet. Anyways,
I'll be honest. This entire match bugged the shit out of me because they had picture. Why didn't they just have the Street Profits go to commentary? I couldn't focus on what was happening because they were giving the most irritatingly like asinine. Sometimes they can be really funny. They can be very clever sometimes. But just screaming incessantly at the TV, at like in picture in picture, and it's like the largest picture in picture. I was like, I can't watch this match. Is impossible to watch right now.
Yeah,
because they're just there.
It was distracting. It was distracting. Remember back when the New Day used to do commentary matches, and they gave them their own commentary table.
Yes, do that.
So Rudolph have the upper hand for a while. Gable gets the hot tag to Otis. He goes on a run, hits Rude with a corner splash, hits Caterpillar, tags in Gable. As soon as Otis hits the apron, Dolph pops up, pushes him in the ring post. Dolph gets in the ring, goes for a super kick. Gable catches that, hits that great rolling German suplex he does. He gets up from that. Rude hits him with a glorious DAT to get the W. Dirty Dawgs win.
Show the world.
Really weird theme song. Really weird theme. Anyway, after that, we have what was supposed to be like we have this week in WWE history, replaying what happened 33 years ago, February 5th, 1988. Remember watching this match live on TV, Saturday main event.
Oh man, thrilled.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Probably. Yeah. Okay. So I mentioned this before the cameras were rolling, during our pre-show. I'll mention it again here. Say what you will about Hulk Hogan. He's been around for a while. Probably has some decent stories. The stuff, small amount of stuff I've seen so far on the Yokozuna doc. I have to film only like 15 minutes in. A little bit of Hulk Hogan in there so far, and it's really good. It's good insight. You know, when he sort of lets the guard down, the brother stuff. When that goes away, Hogan. I know he's always telling it through the Hogan filter, through the Hogan sequence of events. But still, maybe good for, sit him down, talk about this a little bit. It's kind of a cool piece of history, right? Why do they just do this goofy ass 2-minute, if that, promo where he's just full Hulkster? Like, I get people like that stuff, I guess, but I don't know who's tuning in for this. And I don't know.
Nobody's tuning in for it. No, nobody's tuning in for boilerplate Hogan promo.
Yeah,
you know, we're promised something, as you said, that could potentially be interesting, because it is. I mean, I can't I don't know if it is actually the most viewed wrestling match of all time. Don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, it's a pretty damn historic match.
Sure.
So I'm sure there's some stories to be told about it.
It was the first time Twin Magic was used?
Maybe.
Yeah, you see Hogan launch that Hebner.
Oh man, he completely
nobody caught that dude.
Over everybody.
Which Hebner did he throw? Dave or Earl? Do we know?
I think Dave.
Dave. Ooh, ouch.
So yeah, he they do this week in history. They go to Hogan and Jimmy Hart's there too, and he's like, he says like, Andre was like covered in warts or something like that, and he makes like the most awkward transition segue. Says, and that match makes me think about Edge. He can either take on Drew or Roman. They're both in trouble. Edge used to be my tag team partner. He earned the love and loyalty of all the Hulkamaniacs out there. Of course, it all comes back around to Hogan. So what are they going to do when Edge and Hulkamania runs wild over them? And that was it. There's no point to it.
Yeah.
None. No point.
You know,
and then they're like, how are we going to pop ratings? Well, let's put Hogan on.
You know, during these days when, I mean, look, SmackDown, it's 2 hours long. They're not really hurting for stuff for footage or whatever, for content. But, historic events, sit the guy down for 5 minutes. That'd be kind of cool. Just a little snippet. We've seen him in documentaries before. He's always got a little chunk here or there of cool insight. Maybe that next time.
Yeah, this was completely pointless. Completely and utterly, totally pointless. After that, we had a quick shot. Edge chatting with Nakamura backstage. They shake hands.
Our main event match was Big E.
Oh, this was great.
Versus Sami Zayn versus Apollo Crews. This was so much fun. I could have, I sort of remembered during the entrances, I was like, oh, crap, that's right. There's a thing after this with Edge. I really wish this had gone like the full 25 minutes because it started around like 6:35 or so. But yeah, this was wild fun. So sort of like mid-match, it spills to the outside. Apollo just says plancha onto Big E, then moonsaults onto him from the apron. It's really great. Great little bit of TV work there too.
Yeah.
Camera work, that is. At a commercial, Big E's on a roll till Sami tries to get his back, which ends with Big E hitting a huge splash on both Apollo and Sami Zayn. Big E launches Apollo out of the ring and hits Sami, who's trying to go for a haluva kick, hits him with an Uranagi for 2. Crews takes out Big E after Big E hits an apron splash on Sami, and then very quickly tries to roll Sami in and hits a big frog splash. And you think that might be it, but it only gets 2. Big E comes in as Apollo's about to hit Sami with like sort of an exploder. Big E comes in and gives Apollo a German, which also launches Sami, which is a great spot. Sami ends up getting a haluva kick on Big E. Apollo breaks that pin by pulling on Sami's leg. Sami gets really upset, goes outside the ring, tries to throw one at Apollo. Apollo goes off on Sami, picks him up, throws him into the timekeeper area.
That was damn impressive.
Gets back to the ring, and by the time he gets there, Big E has come to enough to hit a big ending for 3. Big E retains. Terrific match.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Given the finish, I would not be surprised. Well, you can expect Sami Zayn to complain about the nature of the finish, how he didn't get his rematch at a one-on-one bout. So I would not be surprised to see Zayn versus Big E at least once one-on-one at some juncture. And they had this great bit after the match where Apollo Crews is just glaring at Big E as he celebrates in the corner. And
they
got to
do something with him. They got to do something. Yeah. I mean, this match, I was really happy to see it. There was that one moment he had with Roman. You've seen him here and there. I really feel like Apollo, they need to give him something to make him come off like a real, because when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, so Apollo's going to take the pin here. And that's what happened. They really need to do something with this guy, though. He's got everything, and every time he's on the screen, he's really taking advantage of his opportunity.
Yep. After that, one more quick shot of Edge walking backstage, and then he comes out the ring for promo. He says something like, "You can accomplish something you've never dreamed of." While he was grinding through rehab, he was dreaming. He dreamed of coming here, coming back home. He was dreaming of winning the Rumble, of main eventing Mania, dreaming of taking back the title he never lost. He still felt was his. Last Sunday at the Rumble, he came in number 1, outlasted 29 of the best superstars today. So now he finds himself in the main event of Mania, but that begs the question, which champ does he choose? Drew, Finn, Roman. He says he asked his family. He gets one answer. He's asked his friends. He gets another answer. He saw some dude on the side of the road, pulled over and asked him. The guy's name was John. John gave him another answer.
John's a nice guy.
He says, but at the end of the day, da-dunt, Roman, Jay, and Paul Heyman interrupt. They walk down to the ring. Edge asks Roman, oh, you had to bring backup. You're sweating me already. I'm out here all by myself. Paul hands Roman the mic. He goes, hey, man to man, I give you my word. Unless I give my blessing, Paul won't make a move on you.
That was a funny line.
And he kind of smirks. He thinks he's funny.
He is funny.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Edge is like, oh, I'm already renting space in your head, and that's why Jay is out here. So Roman tells Jay, hey, I'll meet you back at the bus. I got this. And then Heyman kind of, ushers him out. Roman steps up to Edge, says, that was your one pass. You've disrespected me, and you've disrespected my family. I'll only say it once. Acknowledge me as the main event of WrestleMania. Acknowledge me as your champ of choice. Say my name. Edge kind of takes a step back. Kevin Owens hits the ring, hits Roman with the stunner. He leaves. Edge is all, well, I guess I won't be saying anything now. Drops the mic, and he leaves too.
Yep. So there you go. Yeah, I'm curious to know what they're going to do with Kevin Owens at this point. They're going to have to start building him up to his own thing for WrestleMania, I would hope. So
I mean,
yeah,
the level of work he's put in this Roman feud, he's got to have something at WrestleMania.
It can't go to waste. I don't want to. Yep. It can't go to waste. He's got to do something. But man, it really just feels like he's sort of utility guy who you can sort of put anywhere. I like something good for him. I mean, even like. If he moves over, I mean, I don't know how often this really happens this soon after a title fight, moves over to the Intercontinental scene, like any of those guys, like, Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn again. I'd watch that shit. Kevin Owens versus Big E. I'd watch that shit. There's any number of things he can do. Hopefully they find something good. Kevin Owens versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Great.
That'd be great. I'd love that.
That'd be great. It'd be great when answer some questions.
Yeah, let's do that. I got a thread over here on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Larson will be reading some live Twitch chat questions.
Yep, you got that right. Speaking of which, Flat says, I'm a Larson stan. No amount of money could sway me. Ultimo Larson will be $100 richer. One person's got my back.
That all happened before the show started, man. Wolfpack for life, so it doesn't count here. It's all non-canon stuff. Wolfpack for life.
This comment was made while we were doing the show.
Is Cesaro's push because of his contract expiring, or do they actually have plans? It is kind of funny, right? Like, hey, we'll push you. Oh, you're not going to sign? We're not going to push you. We'll sign.
You signed? All right.
We're going to push you, but then
we'll give you a little something.
Everything else just goes back to normal within 6 months.
Yeah, no. Ed Fries, Mella will feud with Bianca to make Bianca look good until Sasha.
Yeah, it seems to be the case. David Matushek says, what would be your dream matchup if Edge doesn't face Roman at Mania?
I'll be honest, I'd be pretty fascinated to see him take on Balor at WrestleMania.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty neat.
Like, there's not a bad choice. There's not a bad choice.
Yeah.
Drew and Edge would be really good. Finn Edge would be really good. Roman Edge would be really good. They'd all be really fun matches.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I kind of would prefer Edge versus Drew. I think the dynamic would be interesting. You got two guys. I think that, I'll put it this way. I think out of everybody we've seen him confront, his interaction with Drew was the most interesting.
It definitely felt the most tense.
It felt the most tense. There was so much more drama to it than what we saw tonight or Wednesday.
Felt like Edge was kind of like laughing Roman off. Like he didn't take him seriously at all.
No. And like phrases like I'm living rent free in your head. I'll be honest with you. I think it's just sort of the writing for their encounter was clunky.
It was
just clunky because it's like, Roman has an actual funny line and Edge doesn't laugh. Instead, he says, I'm living rent free in your head. That kind of indicates the opposite is true. It's a funny line. You laugh at it. Instead, you throw out like sort of a cliche. That was kind of weak on his part.
Yeah, that was kind of weak. Brett H. Is Baron underutilized by WWE? Just long feuds and he never really goes anywhere.
Oh, man. Yeah, I miss NXT Baron Corbin. I really do. I think that I thought the weird post-apocalyptic metal guy I thought that was
just more the gimmick. Because he's a better wrestler now than he was in NXT. He's a better talker now than he was in NXT. He's a better performer now than he ever was in NXT.
Yeah, but everything they've done with him character-wise has been worse for him.
Yeah. Stevens J. What's with Mysterio's always being in seemingly never-ending feuds?
Yeah, right. That's his thing now.
I don't know.
Jaime Fonseca, what's one finisher you think should always be protected? Doomsday Device. What's yours?
Canadian Destroyer.
And that's a great answer. And one that you think isn't hurt by modern wrestling. Super kick.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that when people complain about how it's not protected, I don't care. Like, yeah. I think it's fine. If the Young Bucks doling out boom, 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 I'm into that. I like that.
Sort of like DDTs, because people are really good about creative ways to get to a DDT these days.
Protected
or not.
And then the way they spike themselves is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Lucifer, what do you guys think the end game for Cesaro in this push will be? First two-time winner of the Andre Battle Royal.
Oh, that's messed up, man.
I'm being sarcastic.
Here's the thing, though. That's a distinct possibility. That's why it's so cutting, because it's true.
It's a distinct possibility. Hopefully they at the very least, he'll get into the Intercontinental title picture. At the least.
That'd be ideal. A ladder match. Him, Nakamura, Big E, Sami, Apollo.
Daniel Bryan.
Dog Authority figure. Will we ever see an NXT star win the Rumble as their call-up? I mean, there was, they flirted with the idea with Riott, huh?
Mm.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we'll see it at some point.
No, I'm carrying Cross next year. Dr. Lipkin. Ray is going to keep cheating to help Dom. This is actually a pretty good idea. Until Dom accuses Ray of not believing in him and they have a match against each other at Mania, so Dom can prove he's good enough on his own.
That's a really good idea.
That's a good idea.
That's a really good idea. Alex Foster, character-wise, how could you guys see Roman changing after he loses the title?
Remember when Neville lost the Cruiserweight title?
That's funny because that's Alex Foster uses that as an example here.
Yeah, that's what it should be. He should just be devastated, distraught.
You know what? I'd want to see everything he says is like that one line he had tonight that he shouted. He just shouts everything now.
Yeah. Dang MQ, the Street Profits screaming at TV. They are only impersonating the people over at ESPN, especially NFL guys who scream all the time. Oh,
is that something that happens? I don't really know. I've never noticed that, but I don't really watch like ESPN's. Was it Sunday morning something they used to have? Or Berman and Tom Jackson for years and years and years. They were the two, along with other people, but they were the two mainstays of that show. Sunday morning before the game started, but I don't know if that's what they're Dang MQ is referring to. No, I haven't watched that in years though. Rich says, "Okay, serious question and debate: who does Edge choose? When does he choose, and why?"
I kind of feel like WWE should have him challenge Drew, simply from a rating standpoint, because I don't think Edge on SmackDown's. Like, SmackDown's ratings are fine. Granted, Edge on Raw this past week didn't give it a huge bump, but there was a bump. What we see, granted, small sample size. The dynamic between Edge and Drew was more interesting to me. It seemed more tense. They'll probably go Roman and Edge because that's the marquee match. But honestly, if I had to power rank it based after 1 week of interaction, it would be Drew, Finn, Roman.
For me, it'd be Drew, Roman, Finn, just simply because earlier today when we talked about the possibility of Finn taking on Walter, now that's all I want. I don't want anything else.
That'd be the ideal.
I don't want anything else. But yeah, and then at that point, doesn't like Edge have to win against Finn at WrestleMania?
Yeah,
I feel like he'd have.
That's the thing too, because I feel like if Edge beats Drew, all right, I could buy that. But yeah, Finn losing the Edge.
Yeah.
And Roman losing the Edge.
You think they would job Edge out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
To Roman, I think so, yeah.
I think Edge would be the guy. I think they'd do that at Mania.
See, I don't know if they want Edge to be the guy that unseats Roman from the head of the table, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't, in terms of Roman's story and his character arc, I don't see that.
Yeah.
Because if Edge beats Drew, I don't know. I feel like if Edge beats Drew, then Drew's like, all right, it's all about him learning to be champion.
That's been Drew's story so far.
You know, and he runs into the Hall of Famer, someone who's one of the most decorated wrestlers in WWE history, and stepping in the ring opposite him, losing to him. Well, all right, now I gotta fight like hell to get that title back.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
I think right now my confidence points would be on Edge versus Roman and Edge winning. Just because I can see that moment at WrestleMania. Like, it's going to be fans. They're going to want it. It is going to be the main event. It's going to be the main event of night 2.
Main event on night 2, I know.
They're not going to have Roman is not losing that. I'm sorry, Roman's not winning that. Not the current iteration of Roman.
I wouldn't be so sure of that.
You think that the biggest asshole in the WWE is going to win on night 2 of WrestleMania, the first one they've had fans in a year? Okay.
I'm not saying it's a certainty that he's going to win or lose. I just feel like
it would be Edge I would bet everything on that, on Edge winning that.
I would bet everything.
Yeah.
I would bet everything. I had to see how the story plays out before making a final decision, but sitting here right now, I wouldn't be willing to bet anything on it. Unless
with the caveat, unless they did a double turn. Because it's whatever's going to happen in the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania, first WrestleMania they have fans in a year, is going to be a happy moment. And if that's going to be the main event, that's going to be that. Oh, dude, yeah. That's.
I don't know. Zoe Conrana, what's the point in having Hogan there to put the new up-and-comer Edge over? And they also had this right after a Black History Month package. Like, really?
Yeah.
I really don't know what the point of it was.
There's no point.
There's no point to having Hogan on the show whatsoever.
I really wanted there to be a point, too.
No point, though.
Mm-hmm.
No point. No point. Gareth Nicholas should Edge wait all the way until WrestleMania to make his decision, then insert himself to one of the 3 matches at the last minute. This is what he should do. Why challenge one when you could challenge all 3?
Oh, there you go. That's good. I like it. And Walter.
And Walter, yes.
And
then whoever Edge pins, he gets that title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Let's see here. Christian Womble, am I the only one that even in the beginning felt like the natural match was always Drew for Edge and not Roman? I felt that way too. I really did. Like I just that would be my first choice. Same. It really would be. Same. Because here's the thing. Well, I don't know. Who is the main event of night 2? Edge or Roman?
Edge.
It's Edge.
Yeah, because it's 10 years after he had to retire.
So then it's got to be Edge versus Drew.
Yeah.
Because then it's
Roman's
like
not losing.
Yeah, because then it's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. White Brownie, do you think we'll get Edge's answer next week? And if so, who would you like to see him challenge? We already answered that. No, we're not going to get his answer next week. And Drew McIntyre is our primary choice.
I wouldn't be surprised if they gave the answer next week. Dan Barber. So are both Cesaro and Nakamura face now? Yes.
Seemingly.
He says, do they challenge the Dirty Dawgs now? Well, Nakamura was paying attention to Cesaro. I don't know what his intentions were.
Yeah. Don't know. Night by Night, you've recently been bitten by a zombie and are likely only hours away from becoming one yourself. Assuming this occurred within a reasonable walking distance of the Thunderdome, what SmackDown superstar would you ask to help get your affairs in order and generally assist you in your final hours?
Paul Heyman. I feel like he's an affairs in order guy. So I'd say Paul Heyman.
That's good. That's good. I don't know if I can do better than that. Oh, I'll say Adam Pearce.
Oh wow, that's a better. Oh, I'm gonna say Sonya Deville. She'll end up taking all my money though. Lace will be like, wait a second, why did the life insurance policy get changed to Sonya Deville as the beneficiary?
Organ Grinder has a good point. Is it bad for Raw that Edge and Bianca look like they're leaning towards the SmackDown belts? Do you think they'd have both Rumble winners choose to go after SmackDown titles.
I don't think that would come into play. I don't really think that would come into play. But I don't know. I guess that's possible. That's all the questions I have on the Patreon.
Oh, we got plenty over here on Twitch. Jorge D, with Christian needing one more match, I think it would be good to have Roman versus Christian at Elimination Chamber. You can have Roman brutalize him to motivate Edge to wrestle Roman at WrestleMania. They could do that.
Yeah, I was wondering if Christian was going to show up tonight. Christian versus Drew at WrestleMania.
Who? You mean Christian?
Christian!
Black Mega Man, some bits. How many zeros do you think were on Cesaro's new deal? Plenty.
You think it's the 6 figures or 7 figures?
Oh, 6.
Probably 6. Man. Yeah, I don't know. High 6,
healthy,
though.
A
High
healthy
6.
6, yes.
High
Healthy
6.
6, yes.
Yeah.
But speculation. We don't know anything. Texas High Flyer. I hope there's a backstage segment next week with Edge and Rollins where they acknowledge the fact that Seth used Edge as a hostage 6 years ago. That is very true.
That is true. It was a scary moment. The man from out west. Power rank reasons to back Larson instead of Steve coming soon?
Oh, it suggests maybe an episode of something.
Okay.
Power rank. Stevens J, I know realistically Bianca isn't challenging for the NXT Women's Championship, but it would have been nice for her to put over Io like she did Asuka.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point. That is a really good point. Shane's birthday tweet. What wrestler from the Attitude Era would work in the current era, and what era wrestler would work in the Attitude Era? He says he looks at Otis and see how well he would fit in the era of fun and goofy wrestler gimmicks. That's a good point.
It is. I always feel like Macho Man will work any era.
Broken wheelchair. I've been watching your old Going In Raw reviews. Steve, you say bad wrestling can still be great to watch. What's your favorite bad pay-per-views, WWE or WCW? Anything WWF in 1994, 1995 is usually my choice because it's such a weird time. It is such a weird era for the WWE.
Yeah. G-Man Fi, rent-free is a thing we kids, say nowadays. That's how people speak now.
No, I've heard that term before. I've seen it plenty, but it was the delivery that just seemed weak.
It's like he didn't react to anything. He didn't react to the joke whatsoever.
He seemed like it came off like he was rehearsing that line. Mm-hmm. And he just said it when he thought he should have said it.
Oh, wow. Good question. Black Mega Man. Steve, which song is more fun to sing? Deviled Eggs or FTR's old WWE theme? Say yeah.
If I knew the lyrics as well as the Enforcer did to the FTR song or to the Revival song,
we go hard all day, all night.
On the other hand, if I knew the lyrics to the Deviled Eggs song,
it might lessen your enjoyment of it.
Yeah, I don't want to know what he says instead of Deviled Eggs. Yeah, no, it's the Revival. That's actually, if you know the lyrics, that's a much more fun song to sing. It's actually really a pretty decent song.
White Brownie, should Asuka lose her title now and then fight her way to Mania so she could finally get a Mania win? Yeah. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Dang MQ, do you guys think that WWE offered Cesaro a chance to produce content for Up, Down, Down to entice him to stay? I doubt. I don't know. I kind of doubt that. That seems like small fry to me compared to like, hey, do you want, let's just say $500,000 a year to wrestle. I feel like that's probably 99% of the conversation. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like that's it. Like he probably had a deal before. They said, hey, here's the new deal. It's like your old deal, but with this money. And he was like, yes. If he did say yes, and that's correct. Yes. I kind of feel like Up, Down is like whatever.
Yeah. Jeffrey, Edge keeps saying he's taking back the title he never lost, but the Universal title didn't exist. It's true. The WWE belt has the lineage of the World Heavyweight Championship, which is the title that he had to give up.
So the two lineages is combined when they were Brock. Was it? No, it wasn't Brock. It was Cena had it. Orton? Was it Orton? Who combined them? Unified them? Who unified
somewhere around there. They still who when they actually make it one belt though? Because when Daniel Bryan won at 30, it was still the two belts.
With Brock.
That sounds right.
Who took it off Daniel Bryan?
Well, he had to vacate.
Yeah. I knew this at one point.
Me too.
Orton. Okay, well, Orton won unification. There you go. All right, good.
Snare Freak says Bianca should main event. It has a better story than the men.
What was the quote? What was it?
Bianca.
Oh.
Snare Freak says Bianca should main event.
I mean, I always thought that Bayley and Sasha should have main evented. That should have been the thing.
Yeah. Oops, sorry. If the Mania main events are Sasha, Bianca, and Edge Roman, and you could only go for one night, which night would you choose to go to? Sasha, Bianca, I think.
Oh man, I did. Yeah, it'd be Sasha, Bianca. Because here's the thing, Edge and Roman have been there a million times. If Bianca walks away with that title, that's going to be a moment. That's going to be a moment that you want to be there for. 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. G-Man 5, do you think any chance an NXT star will debut at WrestleMania in an impactful way? No. F. Sagan, should Edge hit Roman with a bunch of concertos?
Yes. I will say yes to that. F. Sagan, again with this. What SmackDown superstar would you bite if you were a zombie? So they like brains.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Devlin. Because you want more. He's got like a big...
He's got a large head, yeah.
Got a large head. So you think
head.
there's maybe more brains in there? I mean, here's the thing. Even if that's not scientifically accurate, the bigger the head you have, the more brains there are. As a zombie, you're kind of a dullard. You just see large head, you think you hit jackpot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Otis, he has a huge head too.
Otis has a big head.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Flats has the irony of that comment there. I won't read it on the air, but...
Michael So Dope, do you think they'll send Bianca to Raw so they can do Sasha versus Bayley and Bianca versus probably Charlotte? Wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Wow, yeah, that's a possibility. That's totally a possibility.
I mean, they can always refer to, Bianca being angry about Charlotte showing up in NXT last year,
Mm-hmm,
There's ways they can write that story.
There's a dozen ways they can write any story.
Mm-hmm.
and half of them aren't good, and that's what they do anyways. Let's see here. RTG, the obvious choice for Edge's challenger at Mania is the Cruiserweight Championship. Which one you ask both of them? Yeah, he gets Santos, Escobar, and he gets Jordan Devlin, the pre-zombie bite, and he says, you guys, I see clearly.
Speaking of IC, does Christian get the IC title match he's owed against Big E he earned when he retired?
Only if it happens on main event.
That'd be pretty great.
That'd be great. Let's see here. Ordile. Imagine Goldberg, Brock, Cena, Triple H, and Taker all come for Mania. They have to build a new star for post-Mania pushes. Who would you want them to face? Do they all face the one guy? This is like a handicap match?
I think they're separate matches.
Goldberg, Brock, Cena, Triple H, and Taker versus who?
Goldberg versus Big E.
Okay.
Brock versus
Matt Riddle. It's got to be Matt Riddle.
Yeah, Matt Riddle. Cena versus
Drew. Cena versus Drew.
That's good. Triple H versus Finn.
Yeah.
And then Taker versus Damian Priest.
David Priest. Let's see here. Zoe Kenren, is me or did Edge come off really nervous in front of Roman? He did. He did. Why did he make Roman dispatch of a dude? Isn't it a badass thing to stand there and be like, hey, there's 3 of you, there's 1 of me. I don't care. Like, whatever. You want to bring the other one of those guys, the other Uso? Bring him out too. I'll take y'all on.
F. Sagan, winning a title versus retaining a title at Mania. I mean, if it's like your first belt, winning that at Mania, nothing better.
Oh, nothing's... Yeah, man, absolutely.
Shane's birthday tweet says, I watch all WCW pay-per-views before WWE purchase them because of the stories they set up that never finished.
Yeah, dude. Sin, Greed. Watch all those. Sin kills. If Edge versus Roman was a head of the table match, who would be the chef for the meal?
Aaron. He looks like he makes some good meat.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Or Guy Fieri if we're talking about celebrity chefs.
Yes, bring him in. What would he make? You're the Triple D connoisseur here.
Oh man,
what would he make?
You know, there was a stretch of episodes that he did where he had people send ingredients for stuff that they make, and they'd like zoom in, and he would try to make it at his house.
Oh, that's tight.
And that was pretty cool. So like some of the Triple D greatest hits. And he prepped them with the chef on Zoom to guide him through the recipe.
I think he should get so WrestleMania's in Tampa.
Yeah,
he starts off like at his favorite diner in Little Rock, and he has to drive all the way to Florida. He starts out the day before. He doesn't. It's just all in the same soggy bag.
Yeah,
there you go. It's all cold by the time he gets there.
Oh, Berg the Great. I would feel bad for Asuka, but they need to have Rhea take the Raw belt off Charlotte at Mania. Some long-term storytelling for once. That would make complete sense.
Listen, just wait 11 months. It makes total sense. G-Man, do you think it'd be a disservice for Christian if he won the 24/7 title?
Yeah.
Nah, it's about his level. That's about where he is. It is. Come on, it is.
It's
That's
not.
about where he's at.
It's not.
Really is. He was gonna be on Main Event, man. Before he left.
It's a different era, man. That's when SmackDown was a clip show.
Man, I think Main Event's always been Main Event.
No, I'm not saying it's ever been anything more than the Main Event. I'm just saying it was different. I think they probably used to have title matches on Main Event more frequently than they do now, because they don't have them at all now.
Yeah, they don't have any of them now. Anyways, Twitch chat, stick around. We'll answer some more questions. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Help support Going In Raw today by becoming a Friendo Club TV member. You'll get access to new bonus episodes every week, including Friendo Club Arcade, Live Power Rank, Vintage 10 for the Wins, and Ask Steven Larson. Get access to Friendo Club TV today by becoming a $5 and up patron at patreon.com/Steven Larson, by throwing us a sub at twitch.tv/Steven Larson, or by clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson.